We have Honey! Yay! Honey Novick is a singer-songwriter, voice teacher, poet, a full member of the League of Canadian Poets, Writers, Union of Canada, and Poetry and Voice. She is the 5 times awardee of the Gerstein Legacy Fund, 2024 Outstanding Neighbor Award for Davenport Perth, nominated by Member of Provincial Parliament Jill Andrew for Poet Laureate of Ontario. She teaches voice yoga at the Secret Handshake, has 10 chapbooks, published in numerous anthologies, and sings with Bill Bissett and George Elliott Clarke. Welcome, Honey. I'm so happy to have you. Been forever we've been talking about this.
So welcome, and for those of you who don't know, the magnificent David Bateman is there, and Raymond Helkio, and Wendy Devine, she is her name. And who else? Oh, Alan Weiss. Does everybody know Alan? If you don't, this is his current book. It's called Bread and Stone. Interesting title, eh? And I guess it's a novel, right? Based on the Canadian historical event of the Winnipeg strike of, the early part of the 20th century. But I have to say, I just opened this and look what I got. Thanks for the theme song, which is part of this book, I'm told. The inspiration and all the rest. Knowing you has been a joy. Me too. Thank you. And last but definitely not least, Steve O'Brien on sound, right? Are you doing sound or something? Always technical stuff. So I truly don't know really what to share with you. So I'm just gonna take a risk. I believe me and everybody else are like diamonds that are flawed. So I'll try to share many aspects of my flawed diamondship or her diamondness. What? Thank you. I live with paper. Thank you. So I'm a member here, and I come to a very serious folk club that meets here once a month. I just love it. It's like the university I never went to. But anyway, I come to poetry through music. And one of the first songs that I wrote, I'm told, is a poem that's put to music, and it goes, yellow sunset, golden dream, all life's glories hanging on a beam. A look, a smile, an instant stream. I give you a sparkling beam. Up in the mountain, high on a hill, we share a taste of life's fulfill. A flickering ember, a glowing coal, a rainbow of wonder all in a bowl. Let's ride on the rainbow, let's sail the rails, and together let's sing. Thank you. I guess I think I'm going to go just a tiny bit silly before I get serious. So, this can have a conversation later or not. Change, it's called. Change, change. Everyone wants change. 2 5s for a 10, 4 quarters for a buck. But that's not the kind of change I'm talking about. Change the world, change the mood, change the circle, make it good. CHANGE. Find out what that means to me. Nothing changes until we change first. Change our mind, change our view, change our stance. It's hard to do. in my humble opinion, change starts with me. When I change my mind, if I change my view, I'll change my stance. It's hard to do, but not impossible. I won't change the price of my integrity. I'll reach out my hand, make a new friend, offer a smile, all in the name of peace. I come from classical music, so we don't get applaud until it's every third piece. So, I appreciate, but not to worry. So my favorite song or poet, singer, songwriter in the world is Bob Dylan. And one day I was reading something he wrote, and I just thought, he's just a stream of consciousness. So I thought, okay, I'm going to try it. Graffiti. Graffiti is not my sweetie. They are words on walls and apartment halls and on bathroom stalls. Sometimes they're funny and sometimes they're silly. Sometimes they're lonely, but they aren't only words. Mainly they make clean walls look very, very dirty. Giraffes are not graffiti. They are long-necked animals. Sometimes their image tells stories in the annals of history, mystery, or exquisitry. For they move like dancers, not like jumping, leaping prancers with their long necks like swans. Their elegance are like fawns. They are beautiful in their grace. Nothing can take their place because that would be a disgrace, just like graffiti. But not Warren Beatty or even Pasta Zitty. Let's go to Tahiti. Do you have a sweetie? Don't worry, it's not a pity because we are all friends. So I was really happy to hear Wes do his sound poetry. This is just something that I like to kind of play with, and it's this is an urgency. The urgency is an emergency. The emergency is an urgency. Emergency. Okay, so now, what? Oh, good, thanks. Okay, well, I'm kind of a bit nervous because I'm going to share a whole lot of stuff. I was very, really humbled, Ewan, by yours, just what you delivered to us. I appreciate so much when I hear people show an authenticity because it's easier not to. So thank you. So before I get to my own, before I practice what I preach, I'm going to just still take advantage of, the fact that you're here, almost like a, captive audience. This one I call Treatum. I am a poetriot, yes, someone who poetically defends my country vigorously. This land is not my land, nor is it your land. Those who love trees and rivers and birds and breathable air are poetriots, defenders of treatum. It is in treatum that oxygen freely flows, where roots go down deep, deep into historic soil. In fighting for treatum, I stand with all trees, palms, maples, sequoias, yew, locusts, all of them. In treatum, birds confidently fly, bugs give their... In treatum, dreams rule as the winds waft through the branches, bussing each leaf, acknowledging each limb. In treatum, health and wealth are decided on what is bought and what is sold, and that determines the ethos of a culture, a society. In treatum lies true freedom to flee from greed to a world of the handy opposable thumb. Okay, so I'll just do this one, and then I'll sing a song, and then I'll, okay. So, but this is, I've never read this in public, ever. Once upon a time, some of my writing attracted the attention of a professor in Africa, in Ghana. And he in his university, he collects poems, etc. So he's published my stuff over the years. And then he sent a message saying, would I write about Gaza? I'm going, oh, no, I don't know that I can. Anyway, it took me a lot of months, a lot of, I chant, so I really focused on my chanting and on my wisdom and my courage. Anyway, so this is what I came up with. Humanity trumps politics and everything else, like racism, ignorance, economics. Quote, yes, and how many deaths will it take till he knows that too many people have died? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind, unquote Bob Dylan. The war in Gaza reached the parks of Toronto on a beautiful sky blue sunny day. Every nation gathered in Mashakikikai Garden, Medicine Earth Garden, celebrating spring, good planting, plentiful harvest. Then a loud, self-proclaimed Jew approached the woman in a hijab, spewing filth, bringing the festivities to a halt. I was ashamed. As a woman, a Jew, a Nichiren Buddhist striver for enlightenment, I said to the woman in the hijab, I'm sorry, not everyone is like that. I'm sorry. The two most powerful words I know, extraordinarily difficult yet effective. I'm sorry doesn't only mean I apologize. It means I'm expressing sorrow, empathy, compassion, humanism. I'm acknowledging responsibility for this suffering. No one can fight racism, bigotry, ignorance alone. It is too big and far too insidious. It's systematic. That's what war is about. War is the effect of the systemic racism. It is the easy way out. Every kind of war, economic, mano a mano, hatred of one for the other, ignorance based on sandcastles, and perceived false ownership of what? This is a big word, race. It is not a game. It is another four-letter debasement. It will stop with me. Humanity, humanism, being a mensch, acting with empathy, respect. This is where I start. Believing my dreams are as important as yours, recognizing that hope for me is rooted in hope for you. As the Canadian-born daughter of Palestinian-Israeli parents, I grew up steeped in the knowledge, history, culture, and concern of this important issue. We weren't always enemies, never once forgetting the role the British mandatory played. As a Canadian child in Israel in 1960, I saw firsthand how hatred is taught. I wanted to walk with a tray of flat bread on my head. It was ridiculed by my relatives. Nevertheless, I walked with bread on a platter on my head like my Arab neighbors, and I was good at it. It taught me balance. I felt akin to the women, but this was discouraged. However, I am a Canadian steeped in multiculturalism. There was a time my father and uncles wore keffiyehs, helping to stave off heat of the burning desert sun. This, I believe, would be unthinkable today. One of my uncles even related the story of sitting in a circle of Arabs and Jews smoking the nargila. Those were the days, my friend, and a wonderful uncle told me this in the 1960s privately so that we would have a bond. As an adult, I recognize a responsibility to speak out. I must speak out, not against, for humanity's sake, for my sake, for peace. It's not about loving one another. It's about finding a way to dwell on this earth together, attacking the forces of evil that result in war, not the people. The past can never be recovered. We can only learn that hatred results in murder, rape, degradation, torture. I cannot fight for this. I am not condoning Israel's response to Hamas's attack of October the 7th. No, I am saying enough. I will fight using words. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let's start from this moment, please. Can we help each other heal? Please, let's try. It's easy, you say to me, sitting in the comfort of my Canadian home. It's easy. No, it is not. In Canada, the First Nations people readily identify with the Palestinian people. The land grab, the mistreatment of children, the lack of food and proper human rights. I know I'm the daughter of settlers who enjoys a wonderful life born of phenomenal disrespect. When I see students on university campuses living in tents making a statement that the Palestinian people are dying, the children are suffering, the world is not completely blind, I applaud these students. I thank them for this act of civil disobedience. Perhaps, I hope, an opening for a conversation dialogue. This war is complicated. An historical sore festering in a world where the common people just want to live in peace. Yet, I question what the students in encampments are really fighting for. I would not want to live in a world where my gay friends would be tortured or women would not have the freedoms I enjoy. Recently, in a Toronto cultural club, one room for folk singing, another a fundraiser for the Palestinian people, the washroom welcomes both genders at the same time. I can't imagine that in the Middle East. A boy, maybe 15 years of age, was writing graffiti on the walls. What are you writing, I ask. He says, from the river to the sea, the Palestinian people will be free. Oh, says I, does that mean you want to get rid of me? No, he says, we just want the Palestinian people to be free. Me too. I want a ceasefire now. I want a two-state solution. This young man says to me, no. We want the Palestinians to be in charge of the Israelis. I told him if that were so, my gay friends wouldn't be accepted. He says he is non-binary and has no fear. I say, as a woman, I would lose many freedoms. He didn't consider that, but was adamant in his understanding. It was time for me to leave this liberal washroom and go back to sing The Times They Are A-Changin'. Artist and parfumier Michael Cobb gave me the silver dog tags with Hebrew and English words etched on the pendant. Halev shelanu shavibatza biyachad minazeach. Our hearts remain in Gaza. Together we will emerge successful. I pray that I will live long enough to see some of my Palestinian relatives understand that we are not all the same. Some want a harmonious world, idealistic perhaps, but what better dream to work towards than an idealistic world of respect? I pray that my Israeli friends and relatives respect my differing opinions. War is not the only solution. Dialogue, effort, determination, respect, hope for a world that gets humanity. In the words of the great American civil rights leader John Lewis, do not get lost in a sea of despair. This struggle is the struggle of a lifetime. Never, ever be afraid to make some noise and get in good trouble, necessary trouble. Mensch in Yiddish means a good person, a decent person. And the name Gaza originally came from the Canaanites, meaning strength in ancient Semitic languages. The Egyptians called it Gazat, prized city. So I'm just going to end with a song, and please know how very much I appreciate you being here, your love of poetry, your love of, just adding something to a world that's just crying to know who you are. Summertime, and the living is easy. Fish are jumping, and the cotton is high. One of these mornings, you're gonna rise up singing. You're gonna spread your wings and you'll take to the sky. But till that morning, there is nothing will harm you with your daddy and mommy standing by. One of these mornings, you're gonna rise up singing. You're gonna spread your wings and you'll take to the sky. But till that morning, there is nothing will harm you with your daddy and mommy standing by. Summertime. Thank you, everybody, and a special thank you to you, Brenda, lovely Brenda. Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Oh. Special you.
Isn't she a treasure? And you know, here's to anger for compassion. That was an amazing piece.